Well, right now, the National Football League Alumni Association is teaming up with a biopharmaceutical company for a possible brain test, a brain drug test that may have a big impact on players, depending on whether or not the clinical trial actually leads to some results. The trial would involve potentially retired professional football players and would specifically be geared towards those that may be more prone or have received some traumatic brain injuries. As you probably know, thousands of former players are suing the NFL and its teams, and they're claiming that the league did not do enough to protect them, considering the fact that they were getting concussions on the field. Dr. Matthew Fink is a neurologist in chief for New York Presbyterian Hospital and a professor of clinical neurology at the Weill Cornell Medical Center. So this is an idea that the NFL Alumni Association is teaming up with this drug company, and they want to have a clinical trial, Doc. But what we really want to talk about now is what preventative measures may be entertained for people that have gone through something like a football career and know that they had some injury or trauma to their brain. What does that look like right now?
Well, at the moment, in the United States, there are millions of people that have suffered brain injuries, and not just from playing sports, from automobile accidents, slips and falls. We have thousands of soldiers coming back from the Middle East who have had brain injuries. And there's intensive research to try to find treatments to prevent this condition from developing. Now, at the moment, there is no drug that we can give. There is no pill that I can offer that's going to have an effect. But we do know that our good health habits make a difference. So what are those good health habits? A good diet, keeping your weight down, getting regular exercise, avoiding alcohol, avoiding other types of drugs. These are good health habits that will definitely either delay or prevent a problem like this from developing.
So this company, NeuralStem of Maryland, says that they have a drug that could potentially help to recreate brain cells. It sounds remarkable.
Yes, I mean,
it actually could happen.
Yes, it is remarkable, and it's been tested in animals. When we talk about animals, we're talking about mice and rats. And in mice and rats, they've developed a compound which does seem to stimulate the growth of new nerve cells. Now, it will be tested in people, but it is many years away before we find out whether it will work or not. And I hope it works. I hope it works, because that would be a great thing, but we don't know yet.
So that's why even one of the reasons why we're talking about it is that the NFL Alumni Association is thinking maybe they can have some of their former players be part of a potential trial in the future. Let me switch to a different topic where there is a small study, but it's very interesting, and it talks about brain trauma as well. And it's for soldiers that have come back, had a blast injury that affected their head, their brain, and are exhibiting PTSD-like symptoms. But a new study is suggesting that perhaps it's not PTSD. It could be a hormone imbalance. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, this is a fascinating study. We have known for decades that people that suffer brain injuries, a certain percentage of them will have abnormal function of the pituitary gland. Now, the pituitary gland is at the base of the brain. It fits right underneath the brain. It's a tiny structure that is about 1/2 inch in diameter, but it is called the master gland, and it is directly connected to the brain. So when there's a brain injury, the pituitary can be damaged, and
Hold that up for a
results
second, Doc, because we'll get the other camera on it. You were just pointing to where it is. It's right on the
underneath,
there.
underneath the brain, attached to the brain.
So is this study actually saying that potentially, again, small study, they're going to test it on more soldiers, that a treatment for some of the symptoms that they were feeling that were PTSD-like could actually be some sort of hormone therapy?
It is absolutely possible, but again, this is a small study. There were 35 patients that were involved, and my hope is that they will study a much larger group, because I actually believe that this is an important area that may turn out to be extremely helpful in diagnosing and treating some of these injuries. It's very exciting.
Shows the nuances of some of the injuries as well.
Yes.
Dr. Fink, great to have you. Thank you so much. Thanks for bringing the brain.
My pleasure.
I'm glad to have it on set.